Hello and welcome guys. So in this video we are going to learn about 5 ways in which you can add edge loops inside Maya. So the first one is multicut. To use multicut, all you need to do is select an object, hold shift and right click and click on multicut. Apart from adding cuts to the geometry, it can be also useful for adding edge loops. To do that, all you need to do is, while you're in multicut mode, you need to hover over an edge and you will see exactly where it will make a cut. It will not only show you where it will make a cut, but it will also show you the percentage in which it will cut the geometry. To make a cut, all you need to do is left click on your mouse and then it will add a cut. So if you hold shift on your keyboard, it will snap to 10% every time we move our cursor. And we can change this value in the settings inside multicut. So right now it's 10%, we can change it to 15%. And now it snaps to every 15%. Let's say if we want to add an edge loop exactly in the center. So one way to do that is by holding shift and control till it hits 50%. A faster way to do that would be just holding control and middle mouse. It will add an edge exactly in the center. So this is extremely useful for adding edge loops equidistant from each other. One cool feature of multicut is that you can add edge loops using the edge flow. So if you turn on the edge flow settings inside the multicut, you can add edges with the edge flow. So let's say if I add a cut here with the edge flow, it will try to mimic the shape and add an edge with the curve. Again, this can be very useful in adding edge loops where you have a curved surface. So the next tool is the Insert Edge Loop tool. We can use this tool for adding edge loops, and this works similar to multicut but without the snapping options. So we can add edge loops like these. Although this is not the main feature of this tool. The main feature of this tool is to add edge loops in specific number equidistant from each other. So if we go to the settings and turn on multiple edge loops option, we can specify the number of edges we want equidistant from each other. And this can be extremely useful for adding panel details like these. This tool also has an edge flow function just like we saw in multicut, and we can use this feature to add edges with the edge flow. But one disadvantage of this tool is that you cannot use snapping in this like we used in multicut. For example, you cannot use to snap it to 50% and then also use it with edge flow option. So if I go to my options and if I turn on multiple edge loop option, the insert with edge flow option is grayed out. So that's it for insert edge loop tool. The next tool is the connect tool. And now this tool has two different variations to it. The first one is very simple and the second one is more advanced. So we are going to look at the advanced one first and then we will move towards the easy one. So what I'll do is I'll go into my edge mode and select all this edge ring, and then if I go hold shift and right click on my keyboard, I can see two different variations of connect. One is connect tool and connect components. So if I click on connect components, it is similar to insert edge loop tool. If I hold middle mouse and drag, I'll be able to add more edges equidistant from each other. And if I go to the settings of Connect tool, I'll also be able to adjust with the pinch and the slide of the tool. So that's it for the advanced version of Connect. So if I go ahead and select these edges, and let me just reset my Connect Components tool, and now I can add edge exactly in the center. So if I select these edges, it can add edge loops exactly in the center very fast. And it can create edge loops only up till where your selection is. It can also be useful for adding edge loops in a specific order. So let's say if I select these edges and add Connect Components, it will create an edge loop according to that. So it can also create edge loops with the edge flow option, just like Multicut. Another way to add edge loop is edge ring and split. So the way this tool works is that if I select an edge, what it will do is it will select the whole edge ring and add an edge loop exactly in the center. To use the tool, all you need to do is select an edge and hold Ctrl and right click Edge Ring Utilities and then Edge Ring and Split. Then it will add an edge exactly in the center. This is a quick way to add an edge loop inside an edge ring. So instead of selecting all this edge ring and then clicking on connect, what you have to do is just have to select an edge and it will automatically select the edge ring and insert an edge loop for you. So it is saving you two processes. So I'll just press G on my keyboard to repeat the command. And one downside of this tool is that it does not have an edge flow option. So the last tool that we have is the offset edge loop tool. The way this works is that it creates edge loops on either side of the selected edge. And now you might notice that it is not creating edge loops equally spaced from each other. And that's because the distance on the left side and the right side is not consistent. And to fix that, we can go to settings and click on this option called equal distance from the edge, and now it will create edge loops equally spaced from each other no matter how much is the distance. We can also use the edge flow function. Now it will add edges on either side with the edge flow at equal distance with our current settings. This can be used to make a sharp corner smoother. So one more way to add edge loop inside Maya is edge loop and duplicate. So to do that, all you have to do is select an edge, hold Control right click and click on Edge Loop Utilities, Edge Loop and Duplicate. So it will add edge loops on either side of the selected edge. Even though technically this is the sixth way in which you can add an edge loop, I decided not to keep it in the list because I personally don't use this tool so much, and there are also other tools that does the similar job. So my take on this is that the multicut tool is the most useful tool because it has more functions. The second one is the insert edge loop tool, which is useful for adding specific number of edge loops, and the connect tool, which includes both the connect and the connect component tool for adding edges in specific order. What I think about this is that instead of having all these tools with different functions, it would be better to have one or at the most two tools to have all these functions. It would make life a lot more easier and we wouldn't have to rely on all these different tools for doing different functions or the same functions for that matter. So I hope you guys learned something. Thank you for watching and see you guys next time.